At that time, a lot of photos from various crash tests flew around the world, emphasizing one important advantage of Saab: a very high level of safety. In fact, the body structure of the 9-5 still commands respect today. The car is like a safe on wheels, which is also perfectly protected from corrosion. Initially, it was only offered as a sedan. In 1999, a station wagon joined the range. Saab boasted excellent aerodynamics and the almost complete absence of noise that occurs at high speeds from the oncoming airflow. It is very difficult to select the optimal engine from the entire line of power units. None of them are cheap to maintain. All engines are turbocharged. Among the advantages, one can note excellent elasticity, amazing dynamics, and acceptable fuel consumption, taking into account the class and power. However, as is the case with any other turbo engine, the fuel appetite directly depends on the driving style. With frequent pressure on the gas pedal, even the base 2-liter version with 150 horsepower, LPT, the so-called light boost, consumes up to 17 liters per 100. The mileage until the first overhaul does not depend on the volume and power, but only on the culture of operation. However, when using high-quality oils and timely maintenance, the average life of the timing chain is only about 150 to 250,000 kilometers, and the turbocharger 200,000 kilometers. In addition, the owner must reckon with various unforeseen expenses. So, it is necessary to take into account the probability of failure of the turbocharger and its subsequent recovery. A typical sore point is an expensive ignition cassette, which is a module with 4 ignition coils. It is available only in the original, there are no analogs. Another drawback is the throttle. Before looking for a new node, visit a qualified technician. He knows how to reanimate the damper, and some owners have even learned how to do it themselves. In addition, there are problems with the crankcase ventilation system and excessive burning of engine oil. The trionic ECU can also cause inconvenience. After 1999, a more reliable modified block began to be installed. It is worth noting that in the most powerful variations 2.3/220 horsepower, an Aero, instead of the Garrett turbine, a Mitsubishi unit was installed. It is distinguished not only by higher performance, but also by greater strength and, unfortunately, a considerable price. The 3-liter V6 also has a unique design. For example, it was equipped with an asymmetric turbocharger. The Garrett turbocharger spins the exhaust gases of only one row of cylinders. In addition, a special version of the Saab direct ignition system with 2 cassettes was used. The motor is quite expensive to maintain due to the complex device and expensive spare parts. In addition, it does not differ in durability. Faulty valve lifters and electronic problems are too costly. In 2001, a diesel engine was added to the palette of power units. There were 2 options to choose from, 2.2 TID and 3.0 TID. The first is the brainchild of Opel, which can be found under the hood of Vectra, Omega and Frontera. It has 4 cylinders, 16 valves and a chain-type timing drive. Its advantages: low fuel consumption and good dynamic performance. Disadvantages: head cracking and expensive fuel system to repair. Diesel 3.0 V6 developed by Isuzu impresses with its performance and reasonable fuel consumption, at the level of 8 to 10 liters. But in some cases, he presents very unpleasant surprises. At high mileage, nozzles fail, pistons burn out, and cylinder liners settle. Due to the high cost of repairs, it is more profitable to buy a used motor. The problem is that finding a block in good condition is not so easy. Ultimately, the 3.0-liter turbo diesel and petrol V6 were taken off the list pretty quickly. McPherson struts work on the front axle, and a multi-link scheme on the rear axle. Each wheel has 3 transverse arms and 1 trailing arm. The suspension of the Saab 9-5 is not very durable, and unfortunately is burdensome to restore. It is worth noting that the most expensive part in the restoration is the transmission. Therefore, when choosing a suitable Swede, the disadvantages of the chassis fade into the background. The main thing is that the engine and gearbox are in excellent condition. It is a pity that there are no really optimal versions in the Saab 9-5 line. Gasoline units are too voracious, and diesel ones are expensive to maintain. Avoid overly cheap copies. Before buying, be sure to visit a service specializing in the repair of cars of this brand. A number of typical malfunctions will be noticed only by an expert who will objectively assess the possible costs of elimination.